Caleb Williams caught my attention with something he said after the Bears win over the Browns on Sunday. He and the Bears are very confident right now, and I'm going to tell you why I think they should be. We'll get into that here on today's show. We have a little updated tracker on our Week 16 subscriber battle. Slight early lead on the Packers report. 81 new subscribers here on Bears Now. 64 new subscribers on the Packers report. Let's keep it rolling. Let's take those SOBs down. FGBs in the chat. If you want free and daily Bears content, and if you want to take down the Packers report, go ahead and subscribe today. I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. Caleb Williams feeling confident as the Bears sit at 10-4 heading into the final 3 games of the regular season. Here's what Caleb Williams said after the Bears win over the Browns. He said a lot, obviously, in his press conference, but here's something that caught my attention. He said, "I feel like we're ready for just about anything. We're going to go out there and fight. I do know that. And I like our chances. Us versus anybody." And it sounds like a simple statement. It's like, of course, they're a good team. Why wouldn't they be confident? But, I truly do believe that, number one, they believe, and that's most important. The coaches, the players, that building believes. And I do think that belief is strong and is there. But I also personally believe, as someone on the outside looking in, that this team can beat and at least play with anybody. I don't think there's a single team, a single roster in the NFL that the Bears have no shot against in a one-off. Now, in the best of 7 basketball style, would I pick the Bears to beat the Rams? Probably not. But in a one-game scenario, the Bears can absolutely beat anybody in the NFL any given Sunday. But I think even in the playoffs, that is true for this team. I mean, looking at the NFC playoff picture, there is no team here that is flawless. The Rams are the most complete team, elite coaching staff, elite quarterback, elite roster. Devontae Adams is banged up now. You would think he'd be back for the playoffs, but they're still susceptible. Their secondary is kind of average. Matt Stafford, who has been mostly turnover-free this year, but can have moments where they come in bunches. We saw that against Carolina. I do think they're a notch above everyone else in the NFC, but they have flaws. We've seen how flawless the Eagles are as a team. The Bears went into Philadelphia and kicked their ass. That was not even much of a game. Seattle, Sam Darnold in a playoff spot, that's a big question. They haven't been as good recently offensively. The 49ers, beat up with injuries, have not played that tough of a schedule. We'll see how the Bears fare in the Bay in a couple weeks. Don't care who comes out of the NFC South. Packers, no Micah Parsons. That's a major loss. The point is, yeah, you could lose to a lot of these teams. You could also beat them too. If you're the Bucs right now, are you feeling like you could beat anybody? I don't see how you could feel that way. But the Bears could absolutely beat any of these teams in one-game scenarios, and they've done it at times this year against some of these teams. You look at who they have down the stretch, this will be a great opportunity to prove that, right? Rematch with the Packers after going toe-to-toe with them at Lambeau Field. You go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and then you get the Lions, who have been excellent the last few years, not as good this year, but still a playoff caliber team, even if they don't make the postseason this year. The Bears can prove a lot in these final 3 weeks. They've already proven a lot this year, and it starts with beating Green Bay on Sunday. Because if you beat Green Bay on Sunday, your magic number to winning the division is 1. You have to win one of your final 2 games to clinch the NFC North, because you'd be a game and a half ahead of Green Bay with 2 weeks to go. And you'd be at least 2 games ahead of Detroit with 2 games to go. Now, Detroit plays you. You play Detroit Week 18. If they were to win the next 2 games and you were to lose to the 49ers after beating the Packers, Detroit would have the tiebreaker if they beat you head-to-head in Week 18. But that's a lot of things that have to go Detroit's way before that game in Week 18. If you win on Saturday, I almost said Sunday, you are in great position to seal the deal in the division, which means you're basically guaranteed the number 2 seed if you win the NFC North, because Philly's not catching you, and even if they even up the record with you, you have the tiebreaker with the head-to-head. And if you're the 2 seed, you're playing at home a lot in the postseason, so that's a really, really good place to be. How confident are you in this Bears team right now? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being very. I'm like an 8, 9 flat almost. I'm very confident. I'm just not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but any given matchup they play in, I feel like the Bears have a chance. I really, really do. So that's rare territory for me with this team because there's been a lot of games over the last few years. It's like, they got no shot today. Like it's going to be a long day. Not this year. Right now, I feel like any given Sunday, any given Saturday, Thursday, Tuesday, whenever they're playing these games, they can win against that given opponent. Now, coming up, I'm going to tell you why I believe some more tangible reasons why the Bears can make a playoff run. Doesn't mean they will, but I'm going to tell you why I think they can coming up here in a few moments. But do have to tell you guys first about our awesome sponsor. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. To set a Prize Picks lineup, you do the following. You pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections. We're talking passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, combo stats, touchdowns, points, rebounds, assists in basketball, other sports available as well. 2 or more players, more or less in the stat projections, you are good to go for a lineup. This is an example of a 3-player lineup. I took more on Caleb Williams' passing yards this weekend. I really liked the way he played against Cleveland. Also taking more on Colston Loveland, demon play, to have at least a touchdown there. And then I'm going to take less on Jordan Love's passing yards. I don't love Christian Watson's chances of playing. I think that will impact things. So this is a $20 lineup to win $130 with that demon play in there. Check it out right now, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. Okay, why do I believe the Bears can make a playoff run? Caleb's confident, the team's confident, that's most important. But why should us on the outside be believers in this team? I got a few reasons for you. Number one, and we've talked about a lot of these things, but just to reemphasize, this team's built for inclement weather. You know, over the years, like bear weather football, can't wait. And this team hasn't really been built for bear weather football in various years. This year they are. They are built to play in elements. In fact, I think if you're the Bears, you should want there to be inclement weather in the postseason because you have a physical offensive line. You can run the football with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, lean on those big boys up front. You have a play caller who's A, willing to run the ball, and B, really good at designing run plays and picking the right plays in the right times in Ben Johnson. And your quarterback, even if you are a run-first team, his physical characteristics and traits translate in weather. In a game with negative wind chill and gusts up to 20 miles per hour, he just was fading to his right across his body through about a 38-yard dart to the back of the end zone where only DJ Moore could catch it. Caleb Williams can throw the ball with piercing wind, with velocity. The weather's not an issue. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to make every play, but there's certain quarterbacks in the league, Tua Tagovailoa, for example. You get him in cold, wet, windy conditions, he's not as effective. Why? Because he's a timing-based, weaker-arm quarterback, and that lowers your margin for error when the weather is bad. That's not really an issue with Caleb's physical tools. That's why Josh Allen's a great cold weather quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, historically, great weather quarterback because they have physical tools to play in those conditions. So does Caleb Williams. Number two, you might have home field advantage, at least for a round or two. Now, you're on the outside looking in to have a chance to get the 1 seed. You probably need to win out and get a little help to pull that off. But if you beat Green Bay and win one of your final 2 games, you're guaranteed at least the 2 seed because Philadelphia can't catch you. That is the path to winning the division. The NFC South winners locked into the 4 seed. So you are guaranteed at least the 2 seed if you beat Green Bay and win one of your final 2 because you win the division and you're past Philly and either Tampa or Carolina. Now, to get the 1 seed, you probably have to win out. I don't think 12-5 is going to get you the 1 seed because even if the Rams were to lose to Seattle, they're probably winning their final 2, so that means they get to 13. If Seattle wins this week, they're probably getting to at least 13. So to get the 1 seed, you'll probably have to win out. But if you're the 2 seed, that means you would have home field for at least 2 rounds. So, and again, that kind of ties into the inclement weather. If you're playing at Soldier Field in January, it's probably going to be cold, windy, potentially snowing. Those things all play into the Bears' hands with the way they like to play football. So that is all very, very good. Okay, subscribe to the channel if you want free and daily Bears content. We're close. We're almost at 145,000 subs. Can we get there? Help us cross the finish line. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, number 3. Every NFC team has flaws. Every NFC team has flaws. I think the Rams are the most complete team, coaching staff, quarterback, roster. Devontae Adams is banged up. The Rams secondary can be exposed. We've seen that. Carolina got them. Detroit, even in a losing effort, put up 34 points. Jared Goff cooked them. So you can exploit their defense if you can protect up front, which the Bears can. And then all these other teams, major flaws. Eagles have problems all over the place. NFC South winner, it doesn't matter who it is, major problems. Seahawks, really complete team. They're kind of like the Rams without the proven playoff head coaching quarterback, but they have an excellent roster. But can Mike McDonald, Sam Darnold in a big playoff spot, can they deliver? That's an unknown. The 49ers, they've done admirably this year, but really easy schedule, and they have a ton of key injuries. Those things can get exposed come playoff time. Green Bay just lost their best player in Micah Parsons, and teams on the outside looking in need to just scrap to make the playoffs. So the NFC, even though it's super deep and super talented, it's also gettable. There's not one team that you're like, God, we have no chance. Rams would be the toughest one, but if you get the 2 seed, you wouldn't have to play them until potentially the NFC Championship game. Okay, number 4, defense creates takeaways. Defense has flaws. They'll give up yards. They'll give up points. But when you take the football away, that can be the difference in a playoff game. Like, even if you're giving up some yards, some points, if you can create some short fields for your offense, that's huge. 2 things matter a lot in winning and losing games. Creating explosives offensively, winning that battle. You generate explosives. You limit how many you give up. And winning the turnover battle. And the Bears lead the NFL with 30 takeaways and 21 interceptions. Number 1 in both categories. If that happens in the playoffs where you're getting, they're basically averaging a little over 2 takeaways a game. If you're getting 2 and you're giving it away 1 time or less, you're going to have a really good chance to win these games. Because if you win the turnover battle in these high leverage contests, it's a pretty good predictor of who wins. And then lastly, I trust this coaching staff. I know it's a first-year head coach in Ben Johnson, and there's been occasional things that have bothered me, but all in all, he's been fantastic as a play caller, as a situational coach. Dennis Allen, given the fact there's been a ton of injuries and the front 4 has limitations, has done really well. He's adapted to what he's had to work with. This coaching staff has earned our trust. Now, first-time playoff game for this staff together, who knows? It's unproven, but to the point I made earlier with all these teams have flaws, why not the Bears? They have a lot of ingredients that translate. They have a lot of talent. I think the Bears, they could win a couple playoff games. I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl necessarily, but if you told me today, hey, Harrison, the Bears are going to be in the NFC Championship game, I'd be like, yeah, I could believe that. Now, they could also lose in the wild card round. They still have to clinch a playoff spot. That hasn't been accomplished yet. Ben Johnson said, hey, or what do you think about 10 wins? He's like, not much. It's not enough. They're focused. They got to get in first. But I think this team has earned our trust to at least believe that they can make a run. Again, whether or not they do, that remains to be seen. But I absolutely think they're capable. Will the Bears win at least 1 playoff game? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think if they get in, they're winning at least a round. I really do. If they're the 2 seed, I think they're going to be in a good position to win a postseason game. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. We will continue to bring you guys free and daily Bears content as the Bears make this playoff push. So subscribe and bear down.